Welcome to episode 2 of this B2B Addon versus Seeburger. In this video, I'll share a bit about how the two systems stack up against each other. In the first video, I shared a bit about what you get with the B2B add-on. So if you haven't watched that and looking to figure out what you're getting with the B2B add-on, I highly recommend that that video. So first thing we'll start with is some of the things that are better. I like that you get all the formats out of the box. That means you don't have to purchase a specific packages to get the one-on-one mappings for orders 99B if your clients want to use those. You get them all, you can just download them and select the ones that you find most relevant for your case. So that's really nice, you get them all. And then you don't need to use the big designer tool. Last time I tried it, it was something that you had to make sure it was running correctly and in Windows, I don't know, 7 emulation or whatever it was that was required to make it work. So you don't need to use that, and no more one-on-one mappings. There's a pretty cool user-defined package or a set of them that's doing additions with big decimals. There's some node relevant functions, some text functions, and then you have the trading partner functions. And I would say a lot of these functions I would anyway create when I'm working at a client for some specific reason. So it would be a lot easier if I just had one standard repository I could use from these. So I would probably start adding these to the different new mappings I'm creating, just because it's a lot easier to use a predefined function than create your own. There's the trading partner management that enables you to figure out what your partners are, what they're doing, how to contact them, stuff like that. The splitting can be done a bit more detailed in the B2B add-on. So in Seeburger, the way you did your splitting is you put in the 997 or the split channel. There you could define a partner number and a mapping, and then if it was accepted or partly accepted, what you wanted to do with those messages. So with that, you were able to add some more functionality. But with the B2B add-on, the splitting becomes even more powerful. You can split based on both receiving and sending number. A place where this makes sense is if you're getting 997s from a partner. You don't want to, it should be split and just sent into you, and you don't want to split it and send it back to the same partner and stuff like that. That'll just mess up things. So with that, it makes it a lot easier to specify what type of messages you want to deal with, and that's quite an easy tool to use. You got a better search functionality. I'll just cover it in the next slide. And then you got the web based interface for generating UI, testing messages, testing conversions and stuff like that. So that makes it a lot easier. Regarding the search functionality, I do like that they've placed everything in just one monitor, so it's just the normal message monitor, enhanced with some extra fields for this B2B add-on, which is pretty cool. So you can create user-defined functions. You can add a module that will take out all of these EDI relevant messages, information, and put them into the dynamic properties, and then it's just up to you to find which messages you want to archive and handle and how it should work. So that's pretty nice functionality created there. Some of the things that I see the same. The AS2, well, it's an adapter. I haven't seen that many differences between. There's two things I like about it. The S2 adapter, I haven't been looking at the other ones. I have no idea how the OData and X400 protocols works. So for the AS2 adapter, you can specify in which levels you want to archive the messages. So you can say you want to archive the MDM you're receiving, the signed message you're sending out. So you get a lot of points. You can just save messages and then get that specific messages. There's also that you put the certificates on the communication channel and not on the receiver determination or sender determination, agreement. So that makes it a lot easier to figure out what's going on. And then you have the viewing of what's happening. It's easier using the 997 split. Well, in the 997 you can just see what type of messages you're dealing with. With the B2B add-on, you need to use a trading partner management or some other way to figure out which messages you're dealing with for a specific partner. And then the out act, I think, well, I guess there's not room for much interpretation of how that standard works. So I think that's probably much the same. One thing there's something that I'm missing. That's the variables. I guess I'm in the group that have really been misusing these things for some AS2 communication and other places where there weren't any other ways of identifying the messages that we had sent. So for some scenarios, we used to set variables when we send a message and then read the specific variable when we got a message back. So that made it quite easy to get a little persistency in it. I did experience some problems with it, and there's some scenarios where the variables wasn't that good, so I had to adapt it a little so it could handle a lot of requests and stuff like that. But it is something that I'm missing. And then this thing about the number ranges, I guess, well, it's a good thing that you won't take extra numbers for messages that is not processed. But it's a bit strange. You don't know what this message will be like before it's actually called. So that's a bit challenging. Maybe an idea would be to... so if you're testing a message, you need to just, and creating a mapping of it, you would get these $B2B pre-start or whatever it's called, and then the value. And that's the way they identify these messages, or the elements that need to be changed. And then they do the change and get the message back. So if you have that and want to test how your message look like in the tool, you first have to remove those variables in the text and put in numbers so you can see how it will convert. So one thing I haven't checked is the performance of this, and it would be really fun testing the performance, see how the two systems react, but I don't think it's possible to do that. You'll probably install the B2B add-on on a separate system, and which one is performing better, it's difficult to say. The PI is native, whereas the Seeburger has some compiled code, so it could be faster. One thing is definitely for sure, it's the place SAP is investing most in, and they want to enhance this and make it a really useful tool. And I doubt Seeburger will deliver much more functionality to what they already have, because, well, there's no point when there's a competitor out there that has the market, so they would not get any new customers. So it's just the support you would be paying and make sure it continues to run. So you probably want to migrate away from Seeburger, and that's the next video and the next blog post I have that's covering that topic. So stay tuned for that one.